Here we go, mate.
Righto, go.
We're up. How are you, bud?
Yeah, good morning. It's early, isn't it?
Good morning.
Yeah, someone woke me up early this morning, Saturday morning. But I'm up and about. How are you?
Not too bad, matey. Not too bad for a Saturday this week.
Yeah.
The power's on later. The wife's going to footy.
Yep.
Sunday, I've got to get ready for Monday. I've got a fair week coming up, but
Yep.
welcome back, brother boy.
Oh no, thanks, mate. It's great to be here.
How's the coffee?
As we speak, I'm still nursing granules out my teeth with my tongue, and that was an experience. And I think they say that you got to live for your coffee experience. Well, you've given me one, so that's good. But no, look, we needed it, and certainly needed it, and you did it twice. So.
Well,
Yeah.
something had to happen. It was the first podcast ever without a beer because it's only 9:30 Saturday morning, and
Yeah.
I thought I'll go down and get some Kit Kats because we like being fingered, and but the other thing was we have got no beer. Well, we got beer in the fridge, but we can't have any beer because it's 9:30, so we'd be on our arse by lunchtime.
Well, we've stuck a couple of fingers in our mouth now, and all of a sudden the granules are gone.
How's the coffee? So I bought the coffee machine out, and
Yeah.
I went down to the IKEA and got some coffee pods, and of course I bought the wrong ones that don't get punctured properly, and of course
dear.
I thought we might as well use the grains and see whether we can get. And that was like having a mouthful of marbles. That was the worst thing I've ever tasted. And you, Shawnee, but
No, it was all right. You just have a speech impediment was all the only thing I was thinking. But speech impediment. But no, look, I appreciate the effort you went to. Like, I mean, you could have just said, "Let's come and do this," and you whatever God, however you feel, is wherever you're at. So you try to provide coffee, and then the second time we got it right anyway because we bought it out from the house and got it right in the end. So yeah, but that's something we can talk about for years, I think. Do you remember that Saturday morning when you
don't get coffee at Whitey's house? It's not bad now. We've got the instant one that was thrown in there.
Yeah. No, she's come up well
with the percolated milk, but. It took a little bit to get rid of all the marbles, didn't it?
I feel sorry for you because you've either got technical issues trying to set us up, or you got the
Special
coffee
needs,
going
mate.
wrong, or
Special
you
needs.
just died. Every time I think, oh, you poor bastard, but your heart's in the right place and you're trying to do all the right stuff. But yeah, sadly, a couple of times it goes astray.
Well,
But
that's what happens when you don't have beer, you see.
Well, I think you've learnt something. We just do a podcast after midday from now on. No, I don't think we'll do another morning one. Yeah, I think you'll be like, no, we're not doing that again.
Never mind.
Yeah, anyway, we're up, we're about. It's Saturday morning, end of the working week. So how was your week?
This week, yeah, pretty busy. We got a fair bit done again. So I did one trip down to Victor on Tuesday.
Nice.
One went well, one went poorly. The one that went poorly, I'd been there 4 times, so 3 times before this trip. So I got the tape measure out. I'm fairly critical these days of people saying they're ready.
Yeah.
I don't reckon ready's really a ready period. I think a ready's, I think I've done it. But once again, I think the process has issues anyway, and by the time we get there, the issues are already.
Do you reckon people just say, I'm ready, Ash, come on down, because that's when they want it done? Rather than actually being ready?
I think if you don't know, you don't know. That's what
Yeah.
I think. And I think there's if you know your species, then you've got a good idea of what to look for.
Yeah.
If you don't know it and you don't know what requirements they need, then I'd say 95. And you know it's like grabbing go down to IKEA and grab a flat pack of something, and you look at all the bits and pieces on the floor and you go, I got no freaking idea. And like the kid's crayon, that you read to try to put it together, and you think, oh my God, if you do it all the time, you get used to it, and you know what to look for, and you know what parts, and the parts repeat themselves.
Well, I tried to do a desk for Ruby for her bedroom, and from an IKEA thing, and I nearly was going to commit murder. I was that angry because it just didn't come together.
Darling, get the sword out of the cupboard, please.
Exactly. And the dressing gown.
Wow.
I was like, oh, this is just bullshit. So, but in the end, I got a mate of mine. He said, "Oh, how's life?" I said, "Oh, except for this bloody IKEA desk, I can't ever do them." Anyway, he's come around, and within 3 minutes, Ruby's got her desk up in her bedroom. Like he just came around, drilled it, nailed it, whatever.
He said, "You've got no IKEA."
No, well, oh.
We haven't got sound effects anymore.
And we're early in the morning, so that's a good... the coffee must have kicked in. But, yeah. No, anyway, he came around, and I think he said you got no IQ. I think that was where he went with it. But
Low IQ, no IKEA.
My God, geez, I felt dumb. He's put the thing up in minutes. And
you should have said, well, at least if you go to IKEA, you get a little hamburger or a little hot dog.
Yeah, the hot dogs.
Where's your hot
best.
dog, pig?
yeah. Well, the hot dogs down there are the best. That's the only reason I go. But
I think most people go down there for lunch sometimes, don't they?
Yeah, there was a lot of Indian community, I must say.
Blimey.
Ruby and I were the only Australian customers, I think, on that particular day, but that's all right. Dime
a dozen.
Yeah. So we got a couple of hot dogs each. Because I love them, they're $1 each or whatever. So you end up having six.
It's a cheap meal, isn't it? Yeah.
We have 6 hot dogs and then feel sick for the next 7 days. But at the time it's great. And the refillable soft drink, the daughters can have that and keep filling themselves up. So yeah, it works out well. It's just trying to get through the crowd down there, Ash. I bloody hate it.
It's like Madison Square Gardens, mate. You can buy a cup about this big.
Yeah.
And I think you've got to wait a minute 46 seconds to refill it. And if you look at the size of some of these Americans, mate, they refill it every couple of minutes. But
no, I just I hate people in crowds. So when we go down there, it's sort of get any sharp objects away from me because I'm likely to do damage. So yeah, but IKEA, well, don't we love them?
IKEA, yes, for sure. They've got a lot of product down there.
Yeah.
I go down there and get all my coat hangers down there because they got good quality timber coat hangers. You might get, say, a dozen for $12 or $1 each or something like that. But they're all good wood ones. They got a swivel head on them.
Oh, wasn't aware of that.
Like the newspaper ones up the top there. And
yeah.
But yeah, you can go. Okay. I'll go down and grab 2 packs and try to get all the shirts and garments back onto hooks there.
You're an organised man, aren't you?
So yeah, but
organised man.
Not a bad week. Not a bad week. Next week I've got with this other smelter. Excuse me. Next week and starting a big contract on site out locally in a yard somewhere. There's a big commercial building that's needs some sort of fire retarded glazing done. So that's a fairly big
go full retard
contract. So that's got to get on a ferry and get off to Kangaroo Island somewhere. So
right. So you're going over to KI?
No. It's all made here. So Sonny and I are going to go down Tuesday and Wednesday, Thursday, and try to get it all done. And
the great Sonny Loom.
Sonny Loom, Mr. Sonny Loom, mushy.
He's a terrific fella. So where are you actually doing the actual job? Where does the job
just out at Edinburgh Park, out that way. So locally, won't name who it is, but no, it's all good. It's one of those jobs again that comes in through the other smelter that are either laboratories or they've got really sort of commercial, unique type glazing, with diseases and keeping one disease in one room and still having the visibility and safe work practice to get through doors and positive airs on one side, negative airs on the other. So it's fairly involved, but end of the day, the glazing component side of it is just silica gels that suck all the moisture out because all the doors are double glazed. And
is that difficult work or is that
it's detailed.
Yeah.
The end product is pretty accurate, and these doors are plus or minus probably less than a millimetre, and 316 stainless steel.
Yep.
Fully seamless so that no germs can sort of land on it. So it's got all those properties there, and still with the use that you can see through the door and be safe, I suppose, with knowing who's on the other side.
Well, Sonny would be your man to help with that.
Sonny's the man for sure. So he's a good one to keep everything calm and controlled. And I think there's about 6 and 4. There's about 12 pieces that have to be done, but they're 20 mil thick, 90 mil thick. So
okay.
So they got a little bit of work to do on them.
Yeah.
Bar that, no, that's next week, and then Monday I've got 3 frames to do. One at Clarence for Gary's mob and a couple of frames for another local builder here, and then possibly just shoot down to Edinburgh Park in the afternoon and just do a run through for the next day. So next week's already right off the charts already.
Well, that's good though, isn't it?
Thursday, I ended up down at Meningie, so we had a bit of a drive down there as well. So
nice.
That went well. It was a nice sunny day, big lake down there, and
been good weather this week.
It has been good, so it's nice to get out on the road. You sort of, by the time I got back, the hamstrings were tight, and I had to get out the car for a whiz. So no, it was pretty good. But no,
we're getting older, aren't we?
You get out and about. Yeah, of course we are. That's the joy of it, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I stand up these days after sitting down for a while. Even when we finish the podcast, I nearly can't walk after an hour. So legs are just no good. So I don't know how I'm going to, try and get through any sort of sport or baseball. And then in the summer, it's going to be pretty embarrassing, I think.
I think so, but that's all right. At least if you're moving, I think the key to life is movement. If you're stationary, you'll probably get sick. So I think you got to keep moving. And
another life tip, mate. You are all over it.
What about baseball? We heard the Yankees are on now, and the great Garrett Cole's back.
Yeah, the Cole train. First effort back today, and they're 0-0 in the fifth. So I mean that all goes well. That means that he's keeping them to 0, and it's Tampa Bay. Who have been on a bit of a tear recently. I think they won 10 of their last 12 or something along those lines. So top of the East Division. I think the Yankees are 2.5 games behind them. So if you can pick up a couple in this series at Yankee Stadium, all of a sudden you could be back towards the top. Having said that, if they win the few, then all of a sudden you're even further behind. So big series, this one coming up, 3 games. Cold Train back on deck, and 0-0. Let's hope he can hang on, or at least get some help from Bednar and or whoever's coming in to close it.
Yeah, Cole, there he is. He looks magic, doesn't he? How good to have him back. I know Shane Nicholson from Woodville Baseball Club that I used to play with. He's over there right now.
Oh, is he? Right.
Yeah, he left about a week ago and said he had a fair commitment at Yankee Stadium. So he did, stop 161. He has sent through quite a few images of the games.
Oh,
and,
nice.
I think he's got 2 in this week, which is pretty good. So
yeah.
He'll be having a great time walking around Manhattan there and getting on the subways. And
that'd be awesome.
I think he was doing the 911 memorial, which is not a very nice experience, but it is good. The wording's wrong. It's not good to see it, but it's appreciative of the devastation that's there with the 2 bathtubs. And underneath those bathtubs, of course, is the memorials for Building 1 and Building 2. So,
I even in Bali, I liked going to I know people said, what'd you do that for? But
where the bombings were?
Yeah, went to the bombing site and saw the memorial and sort of,
Yankees up 1-0, by the way.
Gave us our best. Oh, you beauty, Coltrane. So I went and saw that. And, while it's not, it's similar to going to Liverpool when you go there and see the Hillsborough sort of memorial that they have at the back of the Liverpool stadium with the constantly burning candle. You sort of think, well, this is where people, have been memorialised. So, I think I'd like to go to 9/11 or where the towers were and just see that. I think that would be quite an emotional experience, I think.
It's funny when the water runs down the bathtub, where it hits the water in the pond.
Yep.
It looks like people are walking. It's quite eerie.
Oh, right. Okay.
And it's quite unique because it's got everybody's name that was in that Tower 1 and Tower 2, and there's obviously 2 bathtubs sort of adjust a little bit. But to see that, it's the wind swirling around, and it gives this sort of almost like human-like image on top of the water where the bathtub and the water running down the bath. And it's quite eerie, but when you think when you go down there, you go down through these steps and it opens up into a great big foyer down there, and it might be 4 or 5 stories deep.
Oh, wow.
And they've got the original footprint of the buildings, which would be probably a 6-inch metal slab that might be 1,200 by 2.4, and that's the very base footprint that goes down that was really the base bed of the building before it went up. And,
wow. Stress.
yeah.
I'd love to see that. And look, I had in 2000 was my England and UK trip on the bus. We went right around the UK, and there was two young ladies that were from New York, and they said they both worked in the World Trade Towers. And I've never actually looked it up, but they said they both worked in the World Trade Towers. They were on the bus for most of the trip with us, and wouldn't know their names now, but I couldn't go and look their names up. Does that make sense? Like I couldn't go and see if they were two of the deceased because I didn't want to know. But now, sort of 20 odd years later, you sort of think, oh gee, perhaps I should have. And
well, you think the people that took a sick day off that day that were sick or weren't sick and took a sickie and
well, how many stories has there been where people did a work exchange?
Sure.
Brian, I don't want to work today. Can you work for me?
That's right.
And then Brian went in and is no longer. So, and I don't know how you deal with that mentally after either. You sort of think, well, geez, I sent Brian to his death. Yeah, I sent Brian to his death. But, so I've never looked up their names. And to be honest with you, what are we, 2026? I couldn't. Probably if I saw them on paper, I'd probably recognise it. But couldn't tell you off the top of my head. But
it was 2,500 people or something. It was it was a lot of people. But
well, they were both accountants that worked in Tower 1, and I just couldn't ever bring myself to go and look to see whether they were, because after you travel around for 2 months together on a bus, you sort of become quite good friends and whatnot. And I don't know. It was just chilling to go and look it up.
On the in underneath the bathtubs where they've got all the bits and pieces from those buildings there, and they've got images and they've got continual audio of people that have passed that are talking to their family on the phone saying, "Hi, Mum, this is Jenny, and I'm in the World Trade Center." And
oh dear,
and this just goes round 24/7. However long the building's open for, and it's eerie because most of these people aren't alive anymore, and you're listening to real-time recorded images of phone calls.
That sends a chill down my back, to be honest with you. I'm like, oh, God.
And to see how much, they've got poles in there that they've put back in the ground to show you how these big girders have twisted and collapsed.
Okay.
And there's stairwells that were just torn apart that were concrete, and they've left some of those in there. And
was this on a tour that you did, or was it?
No, I think you can get tailored ones to suit.
Yeah.
But we just went in on our own and just experienced it. And it's not very nice because of how much damage was done and how many people lost their lives. But to see it,
it'd be amazing.
And to see how, they've got the Freedom Tower now, which is to I don't even know the bearings of where that is, but you got the two bathtubs. Now you got the Freedom Tower that's got massive strength in their concrete now. I think they'll never do what they did again. But nobody expected those buildings to collapse anyway, even if they did fly a plane into it. But I think they were uniquely built, that they were all suspended from the edges of the building, and dum, 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 dum. That's once a couple of stories let go, it was the way to the next one and the next one, and it just started,
You've
dominoes.
done Port Arthur as well, right? So
Port Arthur,
was it similar? Because I've done Port Arthur myself, but was the trade towers that sort of eerie sort of, is that, that sort of feeling where you thought, oh, gee whiz, someone died here, or,
Look, I think so, because I did a job for a lady years later, or weeks later, actually, and she said she thought it was a reenactment. So they didn't even move. They just thought it was somebody doing a reenactment because of, the old cottages down there, and, you've seen it. You've got old hospitals and old, it was built from 1772 or whenever it was, 1780 or whenever it was built there. And, it was just full of people that stole bread and got sent all the way to Australia or Van Diemen's Land for stealing bread. And you think, my God, how what penalties you got back then for such trivial stuff.
Well, I mean, food costs these days. How many people go and steal food from the Jaegers and whatever else these days? So
all the time.
You think about that means that you'd end up in prison. I think our prisons would be overflowing. So, there's people not willing to do the right thing. But
answer your question, yes. You go down and you go, well, man, where was he shooting from? Because it's quite a big precinct.
Yes.
In regards to that main building you go into, and then you've got all the old ruins in the back, and you've got the water off to the left, etc., etc. But if you didn't know it was somebody actually, this was life or death stuff, and you didn't move straight away, he might have picked you off.
Well,
terrible stuff.
As you know, because you've done it. But there's one stage where she says, "Oh, can someone stand in this spot?" And so you sort of stand there. I think, two people stood there and they said, "Oh, well, right, so this is where they were standing and hiding." And you think, well, gee, that's pretty well hidden down behind the concrete of the old ruin. But he fired and got them from 200 metres away. And you're thinking, just that sends chills through you, because you're thinking, on this day, so many years ago, there they were getting fired where we're standing. And I don't know, it's pretty hard to deal with. So I don't know whether the towers, you're sort of standing there going, well, 2001... building fell on people, where I'm standing. I don't know.
I think that would have been horrific to see the New York stuff, because you wouldn't expect a building to come down, especially 102 stories each.
Yeah.
And to let alone see a plane fly through two of them.
Yeah.
And then you see that dust whirl that just keeps growing through the streets and avenues. Terrible. You would never... No, that would have been worse for sure. But, once again, you hear, and you think, you turn around and you think, oh, what's that sort of thing? And you look at the Bondi thing, they were high caliber rifles that they were using.
Yeah.
And they had massive pop. That was just crazy. People getting on the ground, and sure enough, he was just picking off both of them were picking off whoever they wanted to, which is just disgusting, isn't it? It's. I don't get it. It's hard enough to kill a fish, and at least you eat it. That's.
Well, he said the other week that the bloke that did it, when they was interviewed in court, they deserved
put them down,
it.
Mate. Put them down.
They deserved it, and I don't know how you get to that stage in life, but
it's like all the school shootings in America, though, isn't it? It's all the same ilk. It's some. Unstable prick that had an issue with the teacher from science B3 class, and decides to come back and say, "Oh, I never did like you." Pop, 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 pop.
Anyway, but look, I mean, I like the idea though of memorialising different things, right? So Trade Towers, Bali, Port Arthur, whatever, because I think those people that lost their lives in those circumstances.
Well,
I think they deserve to have something that is memorialising their lives there.
Sure. We had a surf mate in the Bali explosions. I think we've said about him before, old Matty, and he just happened to go to the toilet at the right time, and bang, he climbed out the window, and if he didn't go for a piss, there you go. Here you go again. He probably would have been dead or severely damaged or...
Well, my dad, Jimbo, he was good mates with Bobby Deegan, who was the older trainer guy that went with them and passed away. And he went to Goody Tech with him. And when the week before, when they won the premiership cert, he was. We spoke to Bobby They had their celebration back at the Crow Shed back in the day at Footy Park. So we sort of went back there in 2002 or whenever it was, and that was 2 weeks before it all happened. And we spoke to Bobby and, Bobby Marshall, sorry, should I say, wrong name. And Dad spoke to him and wished him all the best for his trip to Bali because, he was going off and he said, don't let the young lads lead you astray, sort of a bit of laugh. And poor old Bobby never came back. So it's sort of... it really hits home when you know someone that was involved in it as well. You sort of think, oh, geez, he's been blown apart.
You've just got to be aware, don't you? If you do a lot of international travel, that you're out of your comfort zone a little bit. You're in someone else's country. You're not really aware of what's really going on. You might hear, a truck drives past just before. Is that thunder or, what is it?
Yeah.
You need to sort of always be on guard. You can't sit there and drink yourself stupid and get into a position where you're sort of clumsy, or you're at risk of getting run over by a taxi, or, just because you're not being aware. You've really got to, if you're away and you're in overseas or even interstate, out of your comfort zone, you just got to switch on and make sure. And you can't help if you're caught in a situation, like if you're going there to get a coffee and all of a sudden some prick comes in, holds it up, and, there's a siege on or something like that.
Puts granules in them.
Let's not talk about coffee, hey?
But totally what you're saying. And look, I mean, when we went out in the streets of Bali, when we took the kids and we went over there and we were sort of there for a week or so, we're with other families, and the other father kept on saying to me, what's wrong with you? Every time we go out in the streets, you're sort of really pensive and built up. But it was like, I don't know, I just didn't trust being in that situation. I mean, I was fine back at the resort and, you get drunk and fall over and be an idiot.
Sure.
But while we were out in the streets, I was watching every person just going like, oh, gee, are they dodgy? Are they not? Or are we in trouble? Because I personally just thought, gee whiz, anything could happen at any minute. So I don't know. It was strange being there in the streets because I was looking around going, oh, gee, what's this bloke?
Well, I'm only 4 to 5 weeks away from being there as well. So
I shouldn't have said that.
No. But you're already on notice. You've already put yourself on notice already to make sure you're not paranoid, but at least you've got something in the back of your mind. Tsunamis are in there a little bit. This is just only tiny little things, but you're in that environment where, you're not in Adelaide. You're as safe as houses here. But all those little things you got to think about, and you just make sure you're on the ball, And
well, even I haven't worked in the city for years. I haven't worked in the city for years, and now I am in the city there. So I've got to catch the bus in and out and catch different buses and go to stops and sit on buses with people and whatever, and I don't know. I just because I haven't done it for a while, I sort of look around at everyone on the bus and I'm thinking, what are you doing? Or
what about all the electric cars now? You can barely hear them anymore, can you?
Yeah.
So, you can hear a little bit of tyre noise, but, you turn around and you go, shit, I didn't know there was a car there, and then you go, ooh, you've got to really almost listen for that now because you're using your specifics of being human, sight, eyes, sound, ears, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you can't hear anything, but there's something moving alongside you. Now, you could have stepped back a foot and got hit by a car or...
Well, even I got to cross through a park and over some main roads, and a couple of times I've gone across the main road without using the lights because, I thought, oh, geez, I'll skip across early here. But you go early and all of a sudden the lights change and the cars are coming at you. So you sort of like, oh, gee, I'm just not used to this. So it's funny when you're out of that comfort zone of knowing, okay, this is where it is and whatever. And I'm in the city and there's heaps happening. It's first couple of weeks have been interesting because I'm sort of like thinking, oh, geez, what's going to happen here? Am I going to get by a car? Am I going to, whatever? So, but yeah, you're right. It's out of that comfort zone. You just got to switch on and, make sure that you're doing everything that can protect yourself. But, Bali, good luck to you with that. I was a bit uncomfortable in the side streets. I
think I will be for.
I hope I haven't put you off, but
in Bali itself. So luckily, we're only there for the actual wedding for a couple of days, and then we go back off the island again. So we're out of the main street sort of. Yeah. Busy people licking your arm and trying to carry your bags for you. So. Yeah, there's a little bit of that I'm not looking forward to. I am looking forward to seeing the Denpasar airport. I've seen and heard a lot about it for many, many years. So
it's an interesting place.
Yeah, so there's a bit to learn there for me. But
I
got up this morning before I rang you, and Ross Coulthart was on the TV that they had released the second lot of UFO photos from the American government. So this is the second drop. I did have a look at some of them, which are pretty good to see. There's all these orbs and all these UFO things flying around that they don't know what they are. So bit by bit, you're starting to get more and more evidence that there's something out there. They don't know whose they are or what they are. So this disclosure movement that's still pushing on here, my camera's gone again, pushing forward and forward. Look, it sounds like it's going to come out, mate. I think there's something big coming.
Was it compared to the first drop? Because everyone said it was the first drop, and everyone got excited. Then there was bits to it, but it wasn't. There massive. But what was the second drop like? Was it more that we sort of where you went?
They had more ocean stuff. They had more gear on the water where you've got boats, and then you got these orbs that they go from air to sea, and there's no resistance. It's almost that they have a bubble around them that they can go from one field to the next field without, you know how much friction water's got. Yeah. That it doesn't seem to affect these things in any way. So if they're airborne and they can just go into the water at the same speed and not be altered by it, which is to do with physics here. No one can understand the physics of it. So I believe the second drop, once again, I don't think there's any smoking gun or... But there seems to be that they say about kicking the needle forward. There are these little steps that are going closer towards disclosure. And I said about Spielberg's film coming up called Disclosure, and that's I reckon that's in June. So that's
I was going to ask you when that was. Yeah,
not far away. But that one's going to be a beauty, and he seems to have his fingers in the pie where he needs to.
He's a clever man.
He says what he needs to say, but it seems to be all related to just this UFO thing, like you saw Close Encounters of the Third Kind all those years ago with the guy Dreyfuss, Richard Dreyfuss, and that once again was deemed to be brilliant. So wonder what they bring out this time in this movie.
Well, and technology's
gone boom, hasn't it?
And you and I keep banging on about that.
There's something coming, mate.
So the movie I reckon Spielberg's put together would be just one that we're going to go, wow.
And accurate, I think. It sounds like a bit of a chase on that somebody wants to try to say and disclose something to the public, and people are trying to obviously stop this guy from saying, once you've done it, there's no coming back, so...
Well, and I'm going to keep wearing my alien shirt to represent Scotty as well, because I know he loves it. So that was what he was all about. So I'm wearing that on his behalf as well. So Scotty, we love you. But I watched Phenomenon on Amazon Prime the other night, which is the #1 documentary that they tell you that if you're a non-believer, once you finish that, then you'll be a believer in it, and
well, you'll look at it differently anyway.
Yes,
rather than be a skeptic or a tinfoil hatter,
Oh, and they're right. That was the thing that got me. Like by the time I finished, it only goes for an hour and a half or so it's not a long watch, but. By the time I ended up watching it, I was like, goodness me. Like they had footage from Zimbabwe in 1961. I think they had
at the school.
Melbourne in the school in 1957.
Westall, yes.
So by the time I finished that, I thought, my goodness, there is just truly something to this. So you know what it's like when you get onto a new topic, you've got a thirst for it. So probably my Saturday will be... watching more and more on it, and then I'll watch the new drop, and then I'll watch more and more docs on it, and go into some others. But that'll be before I watch Port and Carlton, which I think will pretty much be full of aliens anyway, with both teams are playing. But yeah, it gives you a thirst and it gives you a thought, and I haven't really delved into it too much. So.
I think once you get involved too, I think you get dragged more and more into it because it's now becoming more acceptable. You were always deemed a bit of a weirdo if you believed in UFOs and had a lot of stigma to it, and it still does. But like the Eric Weinstein interview with old mate
Joe Rogan,
with Joe Rogan, once again, they talk about the disappearing physics people, all the people that are out of the 12 that are missing, 5 seem to be around the mark that no one's really got answers for. And these people are like and he's worried about his life now because he's in that environment of people in physics that have got all the brains and, they're talking technologies. And, we always say about governments are 25 years further than what we are today.
Yeah, than what we know or whatever. Yeah.
And the way they're going now, just with this quantum stuff, that the leap forward again is so massive that they're not just looking one plane anymore. They're looking at 8 planes in regards to 8 dimensions, not 1 dimension anymore. They're now having 6 vertical and 4 horizontal. I don't even know what that means. But,
I wouldn't have a clue either.
But to see where that's going, that's if you can watch that one, and I recommend everyone to go and watch the Eric Weinstein one. It goes for nearly 3 hours, and I just sat near the TV like this the whole time. I couldn't get enough of it, and then when it finished, by the time I got to bed, I was frazzled. I just wanted to know more and more. But
probably didn't sleep because your brain was active.
It's pretty
as well,
incredible.
But,
as I said, I think there's stuff coming, and I don't reckon it's that far off. I would say by the end of 2020s, say 2030, that there'll be some fandangled brand new system that's going to come in, and I don't know what it is, but
isn't it funny though?
I think they're just trying to hold us down as ants and just feeding us chumpies.
What do they say? Keep you like mushrooms, keep you in the dark and feed you on crap.
That's right.
But the thing that was fascinating to me watching this phenomenon, right, is that you have in your head, okay, an alien ship looks round. Oh, don't tell me that. With a bump in the roof, sort of
yes,
thing,
sir.
in that sort of shape, and then the aliens are all 7 foot and they've got massive eyes and they're green.
The tall greys, yes.
And you sort of go, okay, that's what everyone describes it as, but these kids in Zimbabwe hadn't ever had been educated on what they look like or what it was. Right now, supposedly they found it in a forest. The ship landed in the back of the forest of the school. They all went running, saw this alien get out the ship, and it didn't communicate. It was sort of like winking and blinking at them and sort of thing. But but they described it exactly as you would think a flying saucer would be described, and they described it exactly as you would think an alien would be described. Now, that gets your mind going 2 ways. So you go, well, okay, did this take place? And or are they just making up what they found or what it looked like? However, they've got 2 elderly teachers now they're elderly, but back in the day they were teachers, who told the kids forget about it, it never happened. But now they're saying, yeah, it did happen when we were standing next to them.
And all the stories are the same, and all the pictures are drawn the same.
So now I start thinking, well, if everyone's saying the same thing of what they look like, all the pilots, all the US Air Force pilots, whatever, now you start thinking, well, geez, I know everyone says they all look the same and so do the UFOs, but perhaps it is a thing. Perhaps that is right.
Or are you thinking now, why were they in that area? What's in Africa that the government's got going on? Why were these UFOs in that area? Is there something else?
A primary school?
Well, same.
Why were they there?
The same with the Westall one in Victoria.
Yeah.
That was around the time when they might have been doing splitting the atoms there in Australia at that time, because it was in the 50s, I reckon, the Westall.
57 it was.
So the Cold War was ongoing, and it wasn't that far out of World War II, really, was it? 45 to, say, 55, 10 years on.
Yep.
So the amount of, explosions that they were trying to, because I think they were scared with physics that they learned how to split the atom, but they weren't sure how far it would go. They didn't know whether they'd push the button and the whole lot just blew up, atom just kept knocking the next atom out. So they weren't ever sure how far it would go. And the amount of testing they did for all those years, you can go onto YouTube and they can give you a up-to-date yearly record of the amount of atomic bombs that were detonated on Earth since 1946 or 1945.
Okay, yep.
And you see the amount that were blown up in Russia and France and Australia and, the amount we did here compared to Russia and America,
well,
unbelievable. And like Russia, you've seen that big one in the water where they just
yeah.
God, that's scary. You know?
And Tim Burdett, who's a Republican senator,
yes,
very good from
I
down
like
south.
him.
Oh, I really like him as well. He's had several looks over the years.
Doesn't talk shit,
He's
does
had
he?
the big beard like Wolfman, and then now he's
3-1
shaved.
down now, mate. 3-1 down.
Oh, I don't even want to know.
Bullshit.
I think I'm going to follow.
Keep going on about Burchett because
I think I'm going to follow the Springfield Isotopes. Anyway, so so Tim has come out and said in a podcast just recently that they've got 30 types of alien life form that they have.
Biologics.
Yes, in cryogenics.
Yep.
That he knows of, that he's been in meetings that he knows of. And he hasn't been told the location, but he knows that's what it is. But he said within the next 2 months that will be released. Now, I don't think they'll give out the address, 42 Pennsylvania Way or whatever. I don't think they'll be doing that because then everyone in the world will be bombing it or going there. But
they'll be rushing the gates.
Well, rushing something. Although Russia won't be doing much overnight because they've been bombed again. But anyway, that's another story altogether. But if that's the case in the next 2 months... Wow, we're going to hear about alien actual life form.
Maybe.
Oh, but gee,
maybe.
if that's the case, though, isn't that edge of your seat stuff? Isn't that like, wow, here we go.
Life-changing if you can get it. Yeah, for sure.
Here we go. Like, this is game on now. Scotty upstairs will be waiting for the news. He'll be sitting up there going,
I think he'll have his ear to the ground. He'll be listening.
Yeah, let me know. So
there's a lot to come out yet.
Oh, I was never into this sort of aspect of life or learning in this regard, but goodness me, in the last month or two, you've fueled my enthusiasm. There's no doubt about that.
Are you watching Weaponized with Jeremy Corbell and the old boy? What's his name? He was with Bob. He interviewed Bob Lazar.
Yeah.
But that's worth watching. There's a new one out now that you can watch, which is brilliant. So they always seem to be up to date with everything. And, once again, these guys have had death threats as well. So if you're a whistleblower, and we've said it last week that, you're in big danger of not being looked after like they're promised. And, most of these people can't work again because, they've exceeded their level or trust. And, they lose all their rights and, they lose their health care. They lose everything, what's the advantage to do it if you're lying?
Well, correct. And the other thing is, like, in Phenomenon, there's a CIA agent, SAS. Sorry, not SAS. What would that be over there? CIA, and then whatever their top soldiers are. I've forgotten off the top of my head.
SEALs or...
Navy SEAL, sorry. So CIA.
4-1 down.
He will not... Oh, stop!
Come on, Yankees.
Jeez. They're shit.
Gus.
They're shit house. Anyway, so... But they ask him several questions and he sort of nods and winks. But he doesn't give an answer. And they go, well, why won't you just answer the question, right? And he's like, my family will be in trouble. I'll be in trouble. My life will be in ruins, is what he says. Now, to me, why does it have to be... This is my question for you, right?
Well, if you're not hiding anything, what's the fucking big deal?
I've been dying to ask you this. In the last week, because I've been watching a fair bit of them. What is the problem with saying, hi, I'm Ian, I've seen alien life form, they got 4 fingers, they're 7 foot, they've all got big eyes, and I've seen them in cryogenics. What is the issue with getting the information out? Why are people's lives in danger?
Because people have got their fingers in the pie, people got money invested in books.
So it's an economic thing.
People got things invested in religion. People got things invested that are protecting their own wealth and their own ideals, their own memes. They want to control it. It's a power thing. Why the government can't come out and say, and I get with the security stuff, there's obviously there's weapons involved. That's the war machine, as they talk about, that would and has been created for all those years now.
Yep.
They've got technologies, I think, that if they're scared of the adversaries getting hold of this information, I'm sure they've all got hold of everyone's information anyway.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wouldn't think it's China or Russia in front. I wouldn't think it's Russia for sure. China maybe. They're saying, the New Jersey drones that they had before Christmas that have been flying around all over.
Yeah.
They reckon they're a holograph now. So they weren't actually there. They were projected as a plasma or projected so that it... But once again, no one saw them. No one could shoot them down.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's say that this is now a projection. They want you to see it. They want you to be trained to
Almost
say...
like an AI, are they saying? Like an AI sort of projection.
I think all they're doing is they're bleeding everybody into the fact that something's going on. You can't now say that there's no UFOs on Earth, either in the sea or in the sky or in space.
There's too much evidence.
And I'm sure that there is information coming down from all the satellites there now that if there is something coming and going, they'd be picking them up every day of the week, every minute of the day.
Yeah.
So at the moment, I think everyone's just had the wool pulled over their eyes, and at the moment now there seems to be a really good push forward. And once again, we said with Scotty, it's a shame that he got off early, because a couple of years on from when he look where it's gone now.
Imagine what he'd have himself at the minute with all this. Like, he would be just... So here's another question, right? And I'm like first time caller to you, I know, but I'm only just sort of getting
please
really
tell
into
your
it.
story, Sean.
Yeah, exactly. First time caller, long
Where are
time
you from?
listener.
Indianapolis, are you?
Yeah.
Go on, tell your story, boy.
Down in Indy. So here's another question I had. So a lot of the evidence was based in 50s and 60s, right? When there was hallucinogenics, I know. But why is there no pilot from 2010, 2015, 2020 where they've come through with evidence? Or is there?
There is.
There is.
Yes,
okay.
there is.
Right. So this wasn't just a 50s and 60s thing.
No,
This
so
was
really from 2004, the Nimitz boat or aircraft carrier,
Yep.
that's where
Oh, yes, actually.
the likes of Fraser and the other pilots, I can't remember what their names are now, but that really started in 2004,
Right.
and it's gone on since then. And what's out there now, you really can't say it's not real. It is real. You can't just say, put your head in the sand, I don't want to know about it. I think it's gone that far now that the tipping point's gone. And I think now the government has to start spilling its beans, which it's done now. It's had 2 drops. And hopefully, as you said, that you start in time to get more images of aliens, if that's what people are looking for.
Yeah, yeah.
You can just show so many bubbles going around the water or in the sky so many times before you go, fucking seen it, I've seen it, we've seen it. Give us something different.
It all seems to be the same, right? So it's all the same shape,
all
the
repetitive.
same. It's all repetitive. So where is
Move on to the next bit, which you said cryo and bio. You've got to start producing the goods.
Correct. And not only that, though, like we've got evidence that the UFOs are all one shape and they're all made of metal and they're whatever. So are you telling us now the aliens aren't into technology either? Like they've all got the same sort of ship? Like I don't...
No, they're not, because there's actually data now. There's actually a database that's got all the different shapes, and they've all got names.
Right.
The amount of species here, that let's say that there's 14, that there's 5 or 6 that have been still living here for some time now. That's hard to believe because you don't see it, and you know, this is where the stigma still lies. But at some stage, and I believe the religious sect, the Catholic Church or something's been involved now to say that, they're ready if there was something to be told that, no one's going to be jumping off the side of the flat earth. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's got so many, and that's the other thing that you're saying as well, and it's spot on. Like, it's got so many consequences for so many different types of people, your Christians, your scientists, you and me living at home or whatever. So the consequences and everything are huge. But I just think it's an exciting time where we're finally getting to the stage where
something's going to give soon.
Something's going to give, and there's going to be so much evidence, and we're all just going to drop our jaw and go, don't drop your drawers, folks. But your jaw's going to drop, and you get in the hotel. But we're going to find out that Brian at Anglevale is an alien, and he's and whatever. We're going to go, wow, geez, so. I think it's exciting. And look, I wouldn't say I was a non-believer in that regard. I'm not going to say that I didn't believe in it because I just didn't know the evidence. But the more and more I look into it, the more and more you go, yeah, this
undeniable.
This is a thing. This is a thing. And so, where do
Welcome
we get
aboard,
to?
buddy. Welcome
where
aboard.
Oh, yeah, I'm in. Hook, line and sinker. So it's like, well, what now? And what are the consequences for our kids? 17 and 14-year-old daughter at home.
Sure.
What does life look like for them?
Sure. I just think there's something big coming, and I don't know whether, and I'm not into all the bullshit stories, but is there something coming? Is there an asteroid that's going to come and knock us all out or something? Like, why is the Earth tidal locked to? Why is the Moon tidal locked to the Earth? Oh. Everything else in the world's spinning. Why the fuck is the Moon not spinning?
Well,
it hit the Earth and that's where it reformed itself. Why isn't it spinning? Everything's spinning. Everything's spinning.
Well, as I said to you,
I don't know if the sun is, but
I said to you on the phone. Might have been last night, I think, when we were chatting, and I said to you, there's a guy that's gone missing now. He was CIA as well, and he's gone now missing, saying that he's got evidence that there's more planets out there. So we've always been taught.
Yeah, that's scary, isn't it?
Like Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus. That's a naughty one for the kids out there. Pluto,
sure is.
Pluto. But
kids.
Yeah, he was cute.
Pluto.
Yeah. Anyway,
he was a Disney man, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. So, but.
Is it time they thaw out Walt Disney, is it? Or?
Well, I don't know. But he's now come out and saying there's more planets out there. Now, all of a sudden, people went to interview him and get evidence, and they can't find him now. So this is what I'm saying. Has this been
happening just recently?
Yeah, this was in the last couple of weeks. So why does someone go missing through having that information? This is the question I can't get out of my head. Why would someone then go missing from the government? Oh, don't tell them there's another 2 planets called Michael and Jenny, because then people might find out. Get it out there. Like, what are we afraid of? That's let me put it that way. What are we afraid of with all of this? This is where I get to.
We're afraid of change. People are afraid of losing their wealth. People... just to see the Eric Weinstein interview, there's so much in there that it takes all that time to try to unpack it, but that's
what I'm doing this afternoon, watching that.
It is just amazing to see the fear, the annoyance, the everything that's you think all those bright people are almost at the point of non-existent to this world because, to look at some of their formulas that they're working on and unity brackets, and you think, what the fuck are these people doing? Like, we're just the ants and the what's Joe call them, monkeys or apes or whatever we are. We're just the apes running around on the ground that are so insignificant, doesn't matter. But there's something coming. There's a technology or there's something coming that's going to change everything. I don't know whether we go to crypto. There's change happening. There's change since 2020. There's something going on since then, and we're not far away, I don't reckon, from
what a time to be
great
alive.
Big changes. Yeah, something's going to break soon, and I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's alien. I don't know whether China presents something and says, hey, look what we can do now. You can't. How scary is that going to be?
Well, China, look, I mean, I've said to you many times, I think...
And that's not paranoia. We know that China's fairly advanced with their stuff, but the Yanks still tell you that they're the leaders in everything anyway.
Well, they do, but I mean, as I've also said to you over a couple of times, I think America's in trouble at the minute, we've got bloody... here they come. America with their tent city down in
San Francisco, LA,
is now 52 blocks.
That's disgusting, isn't it?
You think of how large that is. So they've got their own domestic problems, and I think very much the country is divided between red and blue. It doesn't seem to be much middle ground. You're either one or the other. Where China, I just think, is organised. They don't have political bullshit because they don't tolerate it.
No, they have human rights issues, though, don't they?
Yeah, they
There's
do.
People living in boxes, and I don't think they're clean either.
No. I'm not. I just think, in terms of government and structure, China is more spot on where I think it should be compared to America. But I don't know. I mean, whether the Yanks are just sort of like I wear the class clown, but really in the background they've got everything together. Well, who would know? And then of course there's Russia that was bombed again overnight. They're blaming the Ukraine, but the Ukraine said we had nothing to do with these drones that blew the shit out of Russia overnight.
It's in Moscow now, isn't it?
Yeah,
they are starting to push way forward now. So.
Yeah, so they're falling a bit behind for a war that they shouldn't have started.
And they're saying he's fairly shaky on his knees now as well. So
he's pretty angry overnight, just quietly.
His country's in a lot of hurt that they're all their oil's burning and they're 30% down. He did end up in China to see Xing the other day, didn't he? So that didn't go the way he wanted it either. That China's apparently said, no, we won't get involved in that one. So there's still a lot of heat around, mate, and there's...
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think there's something coming. I really think that...
war-wise or UFO-wise, are we saying?
Technology-wise. I think
yep.
the UFOs have always been here. So I see that as more of a background. I think that there's technologies and advancements that they haven't had for 20, 30, 40 years that have come into play. And I would think before long there'll be something we get told. I don't know. I don't know at all. But
are you saying that with this technology, bad things will come of that? So
people can use it for bad things.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it doesn't get used for war. To me, you've got land. You are where you are. Like, everybody just calm down, take a deep breath, and just stay where you are. And all this investment money-wise in defence, and it's crazy. There's trillions and trillions of dollars, being spent on defence that really never gets used. And you just think, man, I understand Australia's point in the last 30, 40 years that since the end of World War II, and I know it's longer than that, that they haven't really advanced their defence spending as high as they should have. But at the end of the world, we don't go out and look for trouble either. We're not a country that has to really. There's no one below us except Antarctica, and we're an island all on its own with New Zealand. You look at the GDP from New Zealand, they're not spending the money either because we don't go out looking for shit. If people want to come here and try to take over, then you've got to have some sort of defence there. But why the fuck don't people just stay in their own country? Well, we can go on and on about this for ages.
Well, of course you can. And look, it's
next week.
America, not at 9:20 because we've still got the granules in my teeth. But anyway, look, if we
how dare you? It was an ordinary coffee though, wasn't it?
I could have a speech impediment. But anyway, America says we're the greatest, China says we're the greatest, Russia says we're the greatest. Terrific. You go and be you, right? So you go and enjoy your country. I agree with you. Why go looking for, that military? But it's about, all these countries have these different pissing competitions where we could blow them out the water any day we wanted and whatever. What does that all get us in the end? I don't get where that ends up. I think the defence spending budget needs to be of a decent size from a defence point of view. I think that we need to be ready because I do agree with you that, soon it's going to be technology. There'll be something launched and it'll be something huge. So we need that budget. It's no good waiting for 2038 or 2040 or whatever. We need to get that now sorted.
Yeah.
So I agree with you that...
And yes, they have put some plans in place now to, make that spending higher and try to move forward with the needle again. But...
well, even America, if you look at it, Ash, They just had recently a get-together where they went back to Congress, the defence budget. They wanted more money. They went back for, I think, $4 trillion or something.
And it's not backed by gold anymore. I know they've done that 3 times.
Yeah, and Pete Hegseth went and spoke to all the councillors and had a beg to get more money for defence and spending budgets and whatever, and all the top military guys did. And it ended up getting knocked back because they were like, well, where does this end? Like, we give you another $4 trillion.
Yeah, I think it's already out to like $15 trillion here. I'm gone again. So
yes, and they wanted another 4. So I think Congress just basically turned around and said, well, where does this end? Like, how much, when do we stop giving you our taxpayers' money when we've got domestic issues such as LA with Tent City, like trying to get that sorted so that, LA people would want to come back down to downtown LA instead of not wanting to do that anymore.
Sure.
So there's so many domestic issues. Why do we give you another $4 trillion so you can go and fight against foreign countries when that money could be spent
on health, education, everything else?
Correct.
Yeah.
So
for sure, you don't want.
That's where that got to.
You also don't want people running around that are crazy countries that are wanting to use nuclear weapons and are. I understand that side, that you do need a big brother also to sit there and say, hey, you can't have that. You don't deserve that. I understand that.
Well,
and in time, maybe, we look back on this Trump term now and go, yeah, he didn't do too bad, really. Let's think about it. But who knows? It's all there to unravel. And
economically, America's flying now. And the country's doing quite well. So under Trump, you sort of go, well, no, it's from a financial point of view, it's going well. But do we just want to be involved in every single war and having someone just go, well, I don't like Cuba anymore. Let's go and, and then, of course, in the background, you've got all those Epstein files and all those sort of things that have got to be uncovered yet, which, so there's plenty for the United States to tidy up. So,
yes, I think the World Wide Web, mate, I think that it's backfired a little bit. It's brought lots of information to the world, but I think it's got back to the times where countries now need to just look after their own borders and make sure that the idealistic stuff that the countries believe in is honoured. And if it's not, here's your choice. You honour it or you go. Bang. And I think that needs to come back into the way we're living on this planet at the moment in 2026. Otherwise,
we're not going to have one.
We're not going to have one. And, we got to stop all these frickin' wars that just keep coming on and on over bullshit, over land, over fuel, over... God, just enjoy what you've got, mate.
Oh, and...
That's why we're the lucky country. We don't need this shit on our plate.
Well, I mean, Australia, from that point of view as well, we've got plenty to tidy up, like...
Certainly do. We got lots to tidy up
Like this new capital gains tax and all that the government's going to bring in.
Sure.
It's going to... I read yesterday could drop house prices by 30% over the next 2 years. Now...
Crazy.
So all of a sudden we go into recession, is what they're talking about yesterday on the financial channels I was watching. So... We've got enough to worry about here about getting our own ducks in a row as opposed to going off to fight Iran or whatever it might be, overseas.
Yeah, I wouldn't be spending my money overseas at the minute.
So
I'd stay out of that as much as you can.
Absolutely. I think we've got enough stuff here that we've got to sort out for ourselves. And, then we've got to sort out immigration.
That's a big one. Yeah, that's as you said. That's probably the biggest one out of the lot, isn't it? And we did say last week about that's the one that's going to probably choose the next federal leader for the next election, isn't it?
Well, it did in the UK, and I think the world's going that way.
I think so. I think it will present itself, and it'll be nice to see everything just calm down. I know we keep saying it. I think there is a technology or something coming soon.
Oh,
and
imagine if that was tomorrow. How good's that?
Tomorrow never comes, does it?
You sort of want it tomorrow, don't you? You sort of think, oh, gee, let them release something tomorrow. That'd be great.
Be nice to see something change from the bullshit we're in. They got to get out of this nasty war type stuff. And if there are technologies out there that can benefit everybody, let's use them for good. And we better wind this one up, mate. We're over the hour now. So
we got there pretty quick today, didn't we? Goodness me.
So thanks again for your time.
No, thank you.
It's Saturday. Make sure you watch the footy tonight. And also... we didn't do any shout-outs this week. We better just say quick one, Justin Hopper in Liverpool.
Yep.
I did finally get in contact with him. He's been all over the countryside and out of the country. So, La Vida Liverpool, we'll get up and going with you soon.
Yep.
He's
going all right, is he?
Yeah, they're going pretty well. He's got that many book festivals coming up. So, yeah, that's going well.
Michelle Nichols, hello to you as always.
Yeah, g'day the girls. SOS Safety Science.
Michaela.
Yeah, Jason, Chris. What's our favourite pub?
The Fox and the
Fox
Firkin.
and Firkin. Old Painey up there. Get up there.
Have a
and
good time at the Fox.
have a nice Firkin large beer up there, and that's and get off to the Gully and the Blue Gums and the Mobbery and go down to the Pickled Duck and enjoy all these beautiful things we've got around the Gully and.
Good area to live out here. I like it out this way.
The northeast is certainly nice, isn't it?
Yeah,
so,
and you're the king of the north as well.
Get the best of both worlds. We get fog and rain here, mate. So winter's on the way. It's not far off. Muddy boots. So make sure you got a spare pair of boots in the car, and we'll see you next week, Shawnee. And
can't wait, mate. Hopefully not.
Yankees are still 4-2 down, so I can't see that one.
I just think we wear a black armband and move on. But
I think we do.
Hello to everyone. Have a great weekend. Whatever you're doing, getting out there and go and enjoy life. I reckon that's the message we need to sell. Just go and enjoy life and forget about all the other stuff that's going on. I think we've covered it, so get out there and enjoy it.
Okay, thank you everyone, and we'll catch you next week for sure. So
God bless, Ashman.
Have a good week.
Ta-da. Bye.